Okay, you decided to start with the big one. I'll start with trying to explain what ethical monetization means. From a player's perspective, it's something which is fair and transparent. Probably not pay to win, not FOMO based, and so on. It's important to keep in mind that it comes from players' perspective, not ours. Why is it important? We all know how hard and risky it is launching a new game nowadays. Players are not just picky. Most of them already have their core favorite game they keep returning to. So attracting and retaining them into your product would be significantly harder if you're labeled as pay to win or overpriced, or if your monetization scheme is just not clear and transparent enough for a new player. Same goes for already launched products, those which have been live for years. As soon as you start pushing too hard, audience would start leaving, unless at the same time you work well with the game itself. But that's a different story. To sum it up, ethical monetization is not about being ethical in a social way. It's about making sure that your game will be successful in the long run. The cross-platform part of it is mostly governed by cross-platform policies. In simple word, equal monetization for players on different platforms, and that makes a lot of sense. There's many great successful games which been there for ages. One can learn a lot from them. I believe the core principle should be if you are adding more monetization content or mechanics, you need to balance it by adding more fun, exciting, or highly demanded content or features into your game together with keeping monetization as ethical as you can. All things considered, of course. As an example, hiding very desirable piece of content behind a loot box is unethical and your community would be unhappy with it. But if at the same time you release a new map, new game mode, and a balance update, which was requested for a long time, and on top of that you give a bit of these loot boxes for free, you should be just fine. I have to say that sometimes it's impossible to balance. There's business needs which require you to push harder, and you know you are hurting your product in the long run. But that's part of our lives. Great question. I'd say the key is to keep your promises and make sure monetization mechanics are transparent. Exclusive items stay exclusive. If you promised for something to be free earnable, keep it so. If there is a loot box, drop chances are clear, how content can be obtained without loot box is also clear, and so on. And in case you need to make a drastic change, make sure it is communicated in advance and properly, and as mentioned before, supported by some positive changes in the game itself. Considering monetization is becoming more and more bound by various legislations across countries and regions, I'd say sooner or later ethical monetization will become the new norm. I'm looking forward to reconnecting with old acquaintances and meeting new professionals, sharing ideas and discussing current challenges, as well as how different teams are addressing them.